Every person at some point has wondered if someone's quiet behavior hides a deeper feeling. When a man is secretly attracted to you, he rarely says it outright, not because he doesn't want you to know, but because attraction is often something he feels before he's ready to admit it. So, how do you know? The answer lies not in his words, but in his behavior. Body language is one of the most honest and revealing forms of communication. Long before a person speaks, their body has already told a story. When a man is secretly attracted to you, his body begins to express what his mind is trying to hide. It's not about rehearsed moves or deliberate flirting. It's about subtle, involuntary reactions that occur because attraction has a way of overriding logic. Understanding these signals isn't about manipulation. It's about awareness. Once you learn to read body language, you'll start to see what words often fail to express. When a man feels drawn to someone, one of the first signs appears in his posture. Notice how his body responds when you enter the room. He may straighten his back, adjust his shirt, or shift his position to face you directly. These aren't conscious efforts to impress you. They're instinctive attempts to appear more confident and attentive in your presence. His body is preparing itself to be noticed, to be seen by you. Attraction activates this subtle physical alertness that manifests as open, engaged posture. Eye contact is another powerful clue. There's a difference between casual glances and meaningful looks. A man who's secretly attracted to you will often hold your gaze a moment longer than necessary. That extra second tells you more than 100 words could. Sometimes his eyes flicker away quickly when you notice, not because he isn't interested, but because maintaining eye contact feels too intimate, too vulnerable. The eyes are the window to emotion, and when someone tries to hide attraction, they often betray themselves through this very window. You'll sense warmth, curiosity, and something slightly electric in the way he looks at you. Proximity is another giveaway. Without even realizing it, he'll try to close the distance between you. Maybe he stands a little closer than others, leans in when you speak, or finds excuses to be in your physical space, like brushing past you lightly or sitting near you in a group setting. These gestures aren't necessarily intentional. They come from an unconscious desire to connect, to feel the comfort of being close. Humans naturally gravitate toward people they like, and when someone's presence draws us in, we find ourselves crossing invisible lines of personal space without thinking. Mirroring is a fascinating aspect of body language that reveals emotional alignment. If he's secretly attracted to you, he'll often mimic your movements without realizing it. When you take a sip of your drink, he might do the same. When you lean forward, he leans forward too. This subtle synchronization shows that his mind and body are trying to build rapport with yours. It's the body's way of saying, "I feel in tune with you." Mirroring creates a sense of connection, and it often happens naturally between two people who share an emotional charge. His gestures also tend to become more expressive when you're around. He may use his hands more while talking or make small nervous movements, touching his hair, adjusting his watch, or fidgeting with his sleeves. These tiny actions are a release for the nervous energy that attraction creates. It's as if his body is searching for balance between excitement and self-control. Sometimes his voice softens, his laughter comes more easily, or his facial expressions become more animated. Every shift in tone or movement reflects a heightened state of awareness. His focus on you. Pay attention also to how he positions his feet or legs in group settings. People subconsciously point their feet toward the person they're most interested in. It's a small, unnoticed detail, but one that rarely lies. If you're speaking in a group and his feet, torso, and gaze consistently align in your direction, it's his body's quiet confession. Even if he's engaged in another conversation, part of his attention remains anchored to you. Body language speaks before words have a chance to interfere. It's honest, raw, and revealing. When attraction is real, it leaks through every gesture, every pause, every unplanned glance. You don't need to overanalyze or force conclusions. Simply observe. The human body tells the truth through energy, openness, and direction. And once you begin to notice these cues, you'll realize that attraction isn't hidden at all. It's written in posture, proximity, and presence. His body is saying what his words are too cautious to admit. He feels something for you, even if he hasn't yet found the courage to say it aloud. Emotional investment is one of the clearest indicators that someone is quietly developing deeper feelings. When a man is secretly attracted to you, he doesn't just focus on the surface. He begins to invest his time, attention, and curiosity into understanding who you are beneath the layers. Attraction may begin with physical interest, but genuine emotional attraction shows up through care, consistency, and the desire to connect on a more personal level. The way he listens, remembers, and responds starts revealing that his feelings go beyond simple interest. They are rooted in connection. One of the first signs of emotional investment is attentive listening. When you speak, he isn't just hearing your words, he's absorbing them. He remembers the details others forget. The small stories, the way your eyes light up when you talk about something you love, or even the things that upset you. He notices all of it. This kind of focus doesn't come from politeness. It comes from genuine curiosity. He wants to know you because your thoughts matter to him. When a man is emotionally drawn to someone, their happiness, struggles, and dreams start to occupy space in his mind. You'll notice he asks questions not just to fill silence, but to connect. He wants to see the world through your eyes. Consistency is another strong reflection of emotional investment. Anyone can show interest for a moment, but sustained effort over time speaks volumes. He checks in regularly, not because he has to, but because he wants to know how you're doing. He follows up on things you mentioned earlier. Your big meeting, your family, your health. He remembers because he's invested. Emotional connection is built on this kind of reliability. The quiet, steady showing up that says, you matter. You may not always realize it, but when a man keeps finding ways to be part of your daily rhythm, it's because your presence has become important to him. Then there's the way he responds emotionally to your mood. When you're happy, his energy lifts. When you're upset, he becomes more protective or gentle. That emotional mirroring happens naturally when someone cares. He doesn't just want to be near you, he wants to understand and support you. His empathy grows stronger because he feels connected. Sometimes, he may even go out of his way to make you smile or lighten your mood. Those gestures aren't random kindness. They are emotional signals that your well-being has become part of his concern. Another subtle sign is emotional openness. A man who's secretly attracted to you will start to share more about himself than he does with others. He may reveal personal thoughts, stories from his past, or moments of vulnerability. This doesn't happen easily. Men often open up when they feel safe and emotionally drawn to someone. By sharing pieces of himself, he's testing the emotional connection, creating a quiet space of trust between you. What begins as simple conversation becomes deeper. He starts seeing you not just as someone he likes, but someone he can be real with. His emotional investment also shows up in the way he supports your goals. When a man truly likes you, he takes interest in what drives you. He becomes your quiet encourager, celebrating your wins, motivating you when you doubt yourself, and reminding you of your worth. His pride in your achievements isn't performative, it's genuine. It shows he values you not only for who you are now, but for who you're becoming. That level of support is never casual. It's the behavior of someone who's already emotionally connected, even if he hasn't said it outright. Emotional investment often appears through protective curiosity. He notices when something's off, when your energy feels low, when something's bothering you. Even if he doesn't know all the details, he senses it. That sensitivity to your emotional state is his way of showing that your feelings affect him. He may not always have the right words, but his presence and concern say everything. When a man is emotionally invested, he's not chasing attention, he's building connection. His attraction isn't just about how you look, it's about how you make him feel. He values your energy, your opinions, and your authenticity. You can see it in the way he listens, shows up, and cares in ways that seem small but are deeply meaningful. Emotional attraction isn't loud or dramatic. It's consistent, gentle, and genuine. It's a man saying, without words, "You matter to me more than you realize." When a man is secretly attracted to you, his instincts often shift in ways that go beyond logic or conscious thought. One of the most powerful indicators of this hidden attraction is the protective and supportive behavior he begins to display. It's not the kind of protection that seeks control or dominance. It's the kind that comes from care, respect, and emotional investment. His actions subtly communicate that your safety, comfort, and well-being have become important to him, even if he hasn't admitted his feelings out loud. This instinctive urge to protect is one of the clearest signs that his heart is involved. Protection can appear in simple, everyday gestures. It might be the way he walks you to your car without being asked, or how he checks if you got home safely after a night out. He notices your surroundings, whether it's making sure you're not feeling out of place in a crowd or stepping slightly closer when someone's behavior seems off. These small, often unnoticed actions come from a place of emotional awareness. His focus naturally shifts toward ensuring you feel secure. A man may not verbalize his attraction, but his quiet protectiveness gives it away. It's his way of saying, "You're important to me," without needing to use those exact words. Supportive behavior follows the same emotional pattern. When a man is drawn to you, he doesn't just protect you from external things. He begins to support your internal world. He listens when you talk about your challenges, encourages you when you doubt yourself, and celebrates your victories with genuine pride. This type of support isn't superficial. It's thoughtful, personal, and consistent. He remembers what you're striving for and offers encouragement at the right moments. You might notice that when others doubt you, he's the one who believes in you the most. That's because his emotional connection fuels his desire to see you succeed. He doesn't want to fix you. He wants to stand with you. The protective instinct also appears in subtle emotional ways. He might sense when something is bothering you, even when you haven't said a word. His tone softens, his focus sharpens, and suddenly, his entire energy is directed toward helping you feel better. Attraction heightens awareness. And when feelings grow, so does empathy. He becomes attuned to your emotional cues, the way you speak when you're tired, the look on your face when you're anxious, or the silence that means something's wrong. His attention to these details isn't random, it's rooted in care. He wants you to feel emotionally safe around him. His protectiveness shows through subtle acts of service. Maybe he fixes something that's been bothering you, offers help before you even ask, or takes care of small inconveniences so your day feels easier. These gestures may not seem grand, but they're significant because they require effort, attention, and willingness. When a man prioritizes your comfort, it's because your happiness affects him. He might downplay it or act casual about it, but his behavior reveals the truth. He finds fulfillment in being someone you can rely on. There's also a quiet pride in the way he stands up for you. If someone speaks disrespectfully about you, or if you're being treated unfairly, he can't help but defend you, whether through words, actions, or even a simple change in demeanor. It's not about being possessive, it's about loyalty. He sees your value, and the idea of someone dismissing or hurting you stirs a natural protective response. That kind of reaction doesn't come from mere friendship, it comes from emotional attachment. When a man exhibits protective and supportive behavior, it's his way of building emotional safety. He's trying to create a space where you can relax, be yourself, and know you're cared for. He may not always articulate his feelings, but his actions consistently express them. Real attraction isn't just about desire, it's about responsibility, empathy, and effort. The man who truly likes you won't just want your attention, he'll want your peace. And that's the beautiful truth about this kind of attraction. It's not loud, dramatic, or demanding. It's quiet, patient, and sincere. His protectiveness doesn't confine you, it uplifts you. His support doesn't seek credit, it seeks your comfort. Behind every subtle act of care lies a deeper message that you matter enough for him to want to make your world a little safer, a little easier, and a little brighter. Playful teasing and gentle jealousy are two of the most revealing emotional cues a man shows when he's secretly attracted to someone. They are subtle, yet deeply telling because both come from the same place, a mix of affection, admiration, and emotional tension that he's trying to manage without exposing too much of what he feels. When a man is drawn to you, his emotions often come out sideways. Instead of confessing directly, he lets them slip through humor, light teasing, or slight changes in his tone when another man enters the picture. These small, almost unintentional behaviors say what his words carefully avoid. Playful teasing is one of the most natural forms of connection. It's how many men express affection while maintaining emotional safety. When he teases you, it's rarely to mock or hurt. It's to create a spark, to establish a shared moment of laughter and comfort. He might make a light-hearted comment about something you said, mimic your expressions in a funny way, or jokingly challenge you about something small. Beneath the humor lies a simple truth: he's paying close attention. He notices your quirks, your habits, the small things that make you you. Teasing becomes his way of saying, "I see you," without being overly serious or vulnerable. It's important to understand that this kind of teasing feels different from the shallow kind that lacks emotional warmth. There's respect and care behind it. It's never harsh, never intended to embarrass you. Instead, it creates a playful rhythm between you, a kind of dance that builds closeness. He uses humor to test the emotional chemistry between you, to see how comfortable you are with each other. Every smile you give, every laugh he draws out of you, becomes a small emotional victory for him. It reassures him that you enjoy his presence, that he can make you feel at ease. Through this playful banter, he's also expressing a quiet confidence. Humor requires awareness, to know when to speak, when to stay silent, and how to read your reactions. The man who's secretly attracted to you will use that awareness carefully. He doesn't want to cross boundaries. He wants to build rapport. The teasing becomes a bridge, one that connects him to you in a light yet meaningful way. It turns everyday moments into small emotional exchanges, creating a sense of intimacy that feels effortless and natural. Then, there's the other side, gentle jealousy. When he hears you mention another man, even in passing, you might notice a small change in his demeanor. It could be a pause in his response, a subtle shift in his expression, or a joking comment that seems harmless on the surface but carries a trace of discomfort. He might tease you about it or pretend to be indifferent, but beneath that reaction is a feeling he can't completely hide. It's not anger or possessiveness, it's vulnerability. He's realizing that someone else could have your attention, and that thought unsettles him. This type of jealousy isn't dramatic. It's quiet and restrained. He may ask questions, trying to sound casual, but his tone will give him away. Sometimes he'll try to make you laugh to mask his insecurity, or he'll redirect the topic altogether. What matters here is not the jealousy itself, but what it reveals: that he's emotionally invested. You matter enough for him to care about where your attention goes. That awareness, that small flicker of unease, is proof that his feelings run deeper than friendship. Playful teasing and gentle jealousy often exist together because they balance each other. The teasing creates closeness, while the jealousy exposes emotion. One shows his light side, his ability to connect through fun, while the other reveals his depth, his quiet longing to be the one who holds your attention. When you see both in harmony, it's a strong indicator that his attraction is genuine. A man who doesn't care won't tease you thoughtfully, won't notice the details, and won't react when someone else's name comes up. But the man who's secretly attracted will show it in every small laugh, every slightly jealous glance, every playful exchange that lingers a moment too long. His words may sound casual, but his emotions are not. Teasing becomes his safe language for affection, and his jealousy the quiet confession he can't yet voice. Together, they paint a clear picture of hidden attraction, one that doesn't need to be spoken to be understood. When a man is secretly attracted to you, one of the strongest signs is how he begins to prioritize you without openly acknowledging it. You might notice it in the smallest gestures. How he rearranges his schedule to match yours, how he stays a little longer in conversation, or how he finds reasons to be where you are. These things may seem coincidental at first, but they're not. They're subtle demonstrations of emotional investment. A man's time and attention are two of the most valuable things he can give, and when he chooses to spend them on you, it reveals far more than words ever could. Attraction changes a man's internal compass. When someone matters to him, He naturally begins to orient his life around opportunities to connect with that person. It's rarely planned, it just happens. He might show up at an event he knows you're attending, or suddenly take interest in activities that you enjoy. Maybe he volunteers to help you with something, or he casually joins a conversation just because you're part of it. These aren't strategic moves. They're quiet reflections of the fact that your presence brings him comfort, energy, or happiness. His desire to be near you outweighs his normal habits, and that's what makes these gestures meaningful. You'll often see this prioritization in how quickly he responds to you. Even if he's busy, he finds moments to reply, to check in, or to keep the communication flowing. When a man is genuinely drawn to you, your messages don't feel like interruptions. They feel like highlights of his day. He wants to keep the connection alive, even through small interactions. The consistency in his effort becomes its own form of confession. It's not about grand gestures, it's about steady attention. The man who always finds time for you, no matter how subtle the effort, is telling you through his actions that you hold a special place in his thoughts. Another sign lies in how he adjusts his priorities. People often make time for what truly matters to them, and he's no different. When he begins to reschedule things, make detours, or go out of his way to meet you, it's not coincidence, it's care. It shows that he values your company enough to make sacrifices, even small ones. He might pretend it's no big deal, saying things like, "I was in the area anyway," or "I had some free time," but those statements often hide intention. The truth is, he made the time because seeing you feels worthwhile. His prioritization also appears emotionally, not just physically. You'll notice that he starts checking in when you're quiet or asking how you're feeling without needing a reason. He remembers your struggles, your routines, your preferences, all the small details that most people overlook. When you talk, he's not distracted, he's fully present. That kind of focus is rare and deeply telling. Emotional availability doesn't happen by accident. It's a deliberate choice that comes from valuing someone enough to pay attention to their inner world. He prioritizes you in protective ways. He might step in to help when you're stressed, offer solutions to your problems, or simply make things easier for you. It's not about control. It's about wanting to contribute to your peace. His satisfaction comes from seeing you comfortable and content. Even when he doesn't say it, his actions communicate, "I've got you." That kind of consistent reliability is one of the clearest signs of hidden attraction, because it shows he's emotionally invested in your well-being. There's also an unspoken rhythm to how he stays present in your life. He doesn't disappear for long stretches or make you question his interest. Instead, he keeps showing up in small messages, casual meetings, or shared laughter. His pattern of presence builds familiarity and trust. It's how emotional bonds grow. The man who prioritizes you without labeling it is showing that you're not just a passing thought. You've become part of his routine. The beauty of this kind of attraction is that it doesn't rely on dramatic words or declarations. It reveals itself quietly through choices made day after day. Every moment he gives you time he didn't have to spare, every small effort he makes to stay connected, is a sign that his heart has started to place you higher on his list of priorities. You may not hear him say it aloud, but his actions will always show it. When a man prioritizes you without admitting it, he's not hiding indifference. He's managing emotions that feel too real to expose too soon. His consistency, his attentiveness, and his willingness to show up are his unspoken ways of saying, "You're worth the effort." Attraction is not always loud, obvious, or immediate. More often, it's quiet, hidden in gestures, in tone, in the spaces between words. A man who is secretly attracted to you reveals himself through his patterns, not his promises. His body language softens around you, his attention deepens when you speak, and his actions slowly begin to orbit your presence. He remembers small things, notices what others don't, and shows up even when he doesn't have to. These are not coincidences, they are quiet confessions. Real attraction doesn't need to be spoken to be felt. It moves through the way he looks at you, the care he takes to make you comfortable, the subtle ways he tries to connect. When a man is drawn to you, his emotions will always find a way to surface. through protectiveness, curiosity, laughter, or even jealousy. Each moment, each small act of attention adds up to a story his heart is already telling, even if his words haven't caught up yet. Recognizing these signs isn't about trying to decode or control him. It's about awareness, understanding that human connection speaks its own language. Once you learn to read that language, you stop chasing clarity and start trusting observation. You begin to see that attraction isn't hidden behind words. It's written in energy, effort, and intention. The next time you find yourself wondering if he's secretly attracted to you, don't search for dramatic gestures or perfect confessions. Watch how he treats you when no one's watching. Notice how he listens, how he prioritizes you, how his presence feels when you're near. That's where truth lies, not in what he says, but in what he consistently does. Because when a man truly feels something for you, his actions will always whisper what his heart is too afraid to say aloud.